listening and seeing what's going on at Cambridge feels pretty terrible, given that the police are blocking off roads, that ambulances are meant to go down, this beautiful garden is being dug up. I mean, is this really, Donnachadh, a sensible thing, a sensible way to make change?
Well, the facts are, Dan, change isn't happening without protest. If you look what's happening in Cambridge University, they've got £250 million worth of investment in fossil fuels.
What's wrong with that?
Because actually profiting from the destruction of Britain is not socially acceptable any longer.
Well, hang on a moment. They're not profiting from the destruction of Britain.
Yes, they are. Britain.
How?
You just have to look at the news today, with floods right across Britain. In the last 30 years...
That's the fault of Cambridge University.
Well, it's a result of climate change. If you're profiting from companies like BP and oil corporations, that means that you are colluding in the destruction of Britain. The floods in Britain are up 17% in the last 50 years. Extreme events that used to happen every 15 years now are happening every 5 years. The people of Yorkshire are paying a horrible price for this. And what we have to say...
Okay, but a spokeswoman for Trinity said, academics at Trinity are actively engaged in research to understand and develop solutions to climate change and are taking practical steps forward. So, in fact, you're targeting an organisation that actually want to help you out of this mess, Donnachadh.
They said that what Cambridge University is doing is monitoring what is happening with climate change. However, Cambridge University also provides professorships and training, and the BP Institute that's training the next generation of people to find more fossil fuels, which we cannot afford. We can only afford to burn literally around 20% of already existing fossil fuels. And this university is training people to find more. I'm with James Murdoch. We need to actually take this issue seriously.
We are taking it seriously. We are taking it seriously. We are on the countdown. We are leading the Western world. We're on the countdown to net carbon emissions by 2050. Shouldn't you be delighted by that? Should you not be happy with that?
Well, that's actually like an alcoholic saying, I will give up alcohol and vodka in 2050, whilst in the meantime, I will open new...
well, Donnachadh, do you not at least accept, I know this is a passion project for you, but do you not at least accept that it's not sensible and it's not realistic for the UK to destroy its economy when we're already doing more than the rest of the Western world? And do you not accept that it's actually China and all of the new coal factories that have been built in China that actually is the real culprit here?
Dan, I find it interesting. In the last sentence, you seem to be getting angry with me. Angry about actually somebody's actually saying we're in trouble. Britain is responsible for 15% of the global investments in fossil fuels. The UK government, you're saying we're doing a lot in Britain and that the government promises to have zero carbon by 2050. Well, what's it doing now? It's opening the biggest coal mine in the last 30 years in Cumbria. The emissions will be equivalent of all the entire British economy for a year. So what we're saying is we have to put an end to investing in new fossil fuels. The university must stop training new people to find new fossil fuels and invest in the solutions that will help Britain.
I will be honest with you, Donnachadh. I do get angry as a result of the Extinction Rebellion. And I'll tell you why. Because I do not support criminal damage. I worry about the waste of resources, the tens of millions of pounds that the police have to spend monitoring the Extinction Rebellion actions. And I find it despicable at a time when there is so much terrorism the police are having to prevent that the Extinction Rebellion continue to be far more than a nuisance, actually. I mean, for example, Donnachadh, in Cambridge, ambulances now having to be diverted as a result of this protest.
Let's stop that mythology in its tracks.
It's not mythology, it's facts.
Extinction Rebellion liaised with the police about the route and where the protest would take place.
Doesn't mean that ambulances aren't being diverted. I never said that you didn't liaise with the police. And actually, one of my huge anger is the fact that the police are facilitating criminal damage. The police, with all due respect, Donnachadh, no, with all due respect, the police need to stand up to you. The police need to stand up to you.
The police have arrested over 3,000 Extinction Rebellion people. What do you want them to do? To massacre
Shut
us?
you down. No, I don't want you to be shot.
So do you
Absolutely
want,
not. I do not want the police to shoot Extinction
what do you
Rebellion
think?
protesters at all or injure you in any way.
Well,
but I want the police to shut this protest
so
down,
you
actually.
You sound like the people who screamed at the protesters in Stonewall to shut the gay pride movement
Well, that's
down.
offensive. That's
the
highly
exact same thing.
that's
I'm a gay
highly
person.
offensive, given
I'm a
that
gay
you're saying this
person.
to a
You
gay
are-
man, Donnachadh.
I am a
That
gay
is
person.
highly offensive. Yeah, but you're saying that to
I
me.
am a gay
That's highly
person,
offensive.
and I've had
And I'm sorry,
friends of
Donnachadh, you're
mine
actually picking on the
killed
wrong
in
target here, because
homophobic.
I have been an environmental activist ever since I was a teenager in New Zealand. But I have never committed a crime. Do you not get it, Donnachadh? This lot are committing criminal damage and they're endangering members of the public. Why do you have to commit crimes in order to make your point? I agree with you on a lot of the points. Just I think that I am.
You're getting yourself up apoplectic by a movement that is the exact same as the Stonewall movement, exact same as the suffragette movement, exact same as Martin Luther King. We all committed peaceful, nonviolent direct action to bring attention to a disaster that was happening in society. The abuse and homophobia that was killing my friends and your friends and colleagues was appalling, and the protests in the streets brought it to an end. People said exact same things that you're saying about Extinction Rebellion, about ACT UP.
The government declared a climate emergency, and we're doing more than any country in the Western world in order to go to net zero carbon emissions by 2050. And I'm happy with that. That's enough for me.
Yeah, but that's like an alcoholic saying, I'll give up alcohol in 30 years' time.
That's rubbish.
So what are we doing now? We're opening up. Have you heard of Woodhouse coal mine?
No.
It's a new coal mine in Cumbria. It's going to produce 2.8 million tonnes of coal every year. And our government has just told the world, Boris Johnson told the world, that Britain would stop funding.
Look, I support the need. I support the need for business to continue in this country, Donnachadh. I'm afraid I do, and
we don't need coal mines to run our businesses anymore. The government has said we're phasing out electricity,
and we are phasing it out. And
so
also, I mean, look at the very, very ambitious targets set by the government in terms of phasing out petrol and diesel car and hybrid cars. I mean, we're doing more. We're doing more than the US. We're doing more than Australia. We're doing more than China. We're doing more than most European countries. I just wish sometimes you would actually focus your energies where they need to be focused, and that is on protesting the Chinese government, the American government, because this country, we are highly responsible. We all accept that there is a climate emergency, but we also can't ruin our economy.
So, actually, are you saying that Britain, who is actually now, we are on the same page, that Britain has done some good stuff on electricity? Yeah. But electricity is only a fraction of our energy consumption.
I know, but Donnachadh, you are wanting change far too fast because you're wanting me to become a vegan. You're wanting me to only take one flight every 6 years. And I'll tell you what, the public aren't with you there because we're doing a lot already.
Why do you think a government that's committed to zero carbon is giving the go-ahead to oil fields, gas fields and coal fields?
Because we have to keep the economy going. Okay, and at the same time, this is why it's so ridiculous, your protest of Cambridge University's Trinity College, because they're actually doing all of this great research into climate change. But yeah, they need to make money.
The university has actually got institutes for fossil fuels. It's got professorships for fossil fuels. It's investing £250 million in fossil fuels. That's why these young people, understanding what they are facing and what Britain's facing, and they are doing, I believe, a patriotic act in bringing attention to this terrible performance by the university.
I believe there's a way to make your point without committing a crime. I believe that protests should be taken place in a legal manner. And you have acted illegally yet again in Cambridge. You are wasting police resources to the tune of millions and millions of pounds. And I think that is totally unacceptable.
Grant, and all I'm saying is all of us don't like doing this. It's a horrible feeling doing these types of actions. But without peaceful, mass non-violent direct action, Britain is walking over a cliff, and we need to wake up and tackle complacent. That's all where we're coming from, Dan.
And actually, fundamentally, I don't disagree with that.